So smiling morning to all of you guys. As we are the one who have actually learned something crazy in MySQL, because we haven't actually learned MySQL. We have learned how Excel is evolved and how Excel is trying to solve. Excel has a real problem, and that problem is solved by MySQL. We understood that MySQL Excel sheet is basically we understood the Excel sheet concept actually. So what is that I'm trying to say is that Excel sheet is have got in-depth I'm talking about. We basically work with hard disk, that is GUI command. Okay, so Excel sheet, how do you generally people work with Excel sheet is you keep a lot of files and folders in the systems. Okay, so MySQL is also like hard disk only. Okay, so inside the hard disk you keep some drives and you go and do that. But the problem is in the hard disk you grow with many files. So that is an actual expectation of a coder. Any human being, what he does is he wants to grow with many files. The problem is if you grow many files, it's a problem. We cannot work. That's why, because growing many files is it's organizing data is very difficult. Okay, organizing data is it's a very challenging part. Okay, so because if you grow with so many files, it's very difficult. Okay, that's why we will pick up to work with a growable data, and that growable data is Excel sheet, because Excel sheet can help you to grow your data. It is in the column wise. Okay, that I already discussed. The problem with Excel sheet is the problem is if the data is corrupted, you cannot repair. If it repaired, the Excel sheet built a repair tool is little complex, because to recover the data, extract the data, it's really complex. But still, listen carefully, all three of you. There are so many organizations. Still, I have seen banks, I've seen some finance companies, still they use Excel only, because their customer code base is like that. They may have some 10 lakh data or less than 10 lakh data. Okay, still they are that's used. Okay, coming to the limitation, what I'm trying to say, limitation actually fact I'm telling you. So you will see most of the organizations that Excel sheet, when I talk about, you will see somewhere between 5 lakh rows you can have an Excel. Maybe if you exceed 10 lakh rows, Excel with Power Query, or 10 lakhs plus rows, you have to use any tool, Power BI or SQL, or a crores of rows. But really today, how analytics is performed. Analytics is performed in this range only. And today we have companies, we have clients who are hiring based on this range only. Remember that. If you have crores of data, they will not go with SQL or pandas. They might go with SQL and pandas, but still they'll go with big data. If you have 10 lakhs plus rows, they'll go with Power BI or SQL. If you have 5 to 10 lakhs, they'll go with Excel. Okay, that is the limitations. So as I told you, MySQL is good. Why? Because main purpose of MySQL is we have backup and restore. It is good. It will help you to horizontally scale also. You can scale that. That is a benefit. You can backup and restore. You can partition. You can use indexes. You can do many things. Storage DB and all these things. Okay. Now, I was asking people in Excel, can we do really coding? We can do. Excel coding is what? In Excel, the coding is very simple. You will open an Excel sheet. You will go to a particular row. Let's say if you want to write a 25th row or 15th row, you will go to a particular row, whichever row, let's say 25th row, you will insert directly data. Okay. In Excel, if inserting or updating is same, if you already go to a particular row, then if already that has data, you change that data 22 to 25. That is update. You can directly click on that row and delete it also. That is delete operation. Then in Excel is always a growable columns in different sheets. That is why traditionally what companies do is one Excel sheet or one sheet cannot have too many columns. It will become slow down. It will slow down the performance. Okay. So that's why what we do is we split that data of any data into multiple sheets. So a sheet 1 can have 4 columns, sheet 2 can have 4 columns, or something like that. And we can basically link them also. It's possible. Okay. So it is growable columns in different sheets. And many people will ask this question is, if I have a row in the one sheet, I can continue the data which is in another row in another sheet also, because it's extending. It means this sheet data only, I'm extending it in another sheet also. Means if I am inserting something in this sheet, I'm inserting in the another data sheet also, extended data sheet. Okay, so that is a basic concept of Excel sheet. Now I'll talk about complex Excel sheet. Okay, complex Excel sheet means in the Excel sheet, I'll have a row. Excel has 25 actually a row. Inside this row, if I want to extend it, I'll extend it to another sheet. Fine. But how we can do? For that only, I started adding the concept of something called as UID, unique ID. And here also I've used something called as sheet ID. I told you that in this UID, unique ID, it will have unique ID of this row. Okay. Same thing in this also, I'll have a unique ID. This unique ID, this sheet ID is having unique. This will refer the unique ID of another row. So if you want to understand depth, sheet one. So carefully understand, guys. My suggestion for you is, this is what as a developer I'm trying to say here. So as a very interesting concepts that I'm trying to put it across for you. Okay. Sheet one basically have extending sheet one, sheet two knows sheet one. Remember that, because sheet two is the one who is knowing sheet one. So that is very important. So that is the main concept here. Sheet one, in very fact, is that sheet two, because of this sheet one ID, okay, because of that sheet one ID, sheet two, because of the sheet one ID, it knows sheet two, sheet one. Okay, but sheet one doesn't know sheet two. Remember this, because even though it's extended data, but sheet one actually doesn't know anyone. Sheet one is just having a UID. That's it. So sheet one has one unique ID. What it has unique ID for each row. Remember that it's a unique ID for each row. That is sheet one. Okay, sheet two is, which is having unique ID, that is sheet one underscore ID, that knows sheet one. Because of that reason only, this UID is unique ID is called primary key, and this sheet one ID is called as foreign key, and that is something you have to understand in a database level understanding. Okay, so here also in this Excel sheet I can write. So I'll have here sheet one, and that sheet one has external data to sheet 2, and then it goes to sheet 3. It is all possible. Sheet 1 extending data to sheet 2, sheet 2 to sheet 3, everything. But how? By using the IDs. So here also I have sheet 1 ID, here I have sheet 1 ID, sheet 2 ID. So it means what? You are extending this data. I can access it in the sheet 2 also, because it has an ID that refers to the other sheets. Okay, and that is called foreign keys. And this is a real-time explanation they like. They'll look at in the industry. So in an industry, they will look at that expectation only. I hope all of you are understanding this. So I told you yesterday, real time is that we all use a unique ID that is called primary key. In sheet 1, sheet 2 and sheet 2 will have one thing called sheet 1 ID, and that is called foreign key. Okay, already we have discussed that. Okay. So sheet 1 will have a unique ID primary key, sheet 2 will have sheet 1 foreign key, sheet 3 will have two IDs, and that it says I know sheet 1 and sheet 2, and I know sheet 1, and sheet 1 doesn't know anyone. Sheet 1 just is one primary table, you can say, that is relationship. And this generally, this concept of sheet 1, sheet 2, sheet 3, they call it a schema. Remember this is called a schema. Okay. And coming to the main part here, data important column categories, that is your qualification, occupation, gender, caste, which I'm talking about. So which I'm trying to tell you here is, this is a main part. So your data which is there, there is some important column that categorizes data, that is qualification, occupation, gender, caste. Using them we can do a lot of things. So that is the main part. So the data we have important column categories are like we have sheet 1 as qualification, sheet 2 as occupation, sheet 3 as caste. So that is BTech, software engineer, Indian. So sheet 4, you can create a new sheet. Using all these columns, you can do some joins and you can create a new sheet also. Okay, that is what I talked about joins. Okay, join means what? Left join combine row two tables, and left table data all rows includes right table and matching data will come. Okay, so that is what I told. Inner join means what? Matching data from both tables will come. Okay, so summary of this concept is all joins is that inner join will do left side table, right side only, but matching rows only. Inner join from both of them. Left join will get data from left table, but it will see right side. If null also, it will get it. Okay, right side will go to right side table, and unmatched also it will get. Fuller outer join means it will get all rows from left side and right side, both will come. Cross join means also you will get all the rows, but with all combinations. Okay, so this is a whole idea about the main concept of Excel. Now we will get into SQL fundamentals detailedly.